children and one of the co-chairs of the Connecticut Early Childhood Alliance. These calls are being sponsored by the Connecticut Early Childhood Alliance, the Connecticut Association for Human Services, and CSEA SEIU. I am hoping that we have language interpretation today, but I'm not going to begin it until I have confirmation. I hope everyone, oh, we will. Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to begin the language settings now, and Ava is going to interpret for us today. Thank you so much for that, Ava. Here we go. Oh, Wildelise actually just joined. Perfect. Just 1 second. Wildelise, great. Okay, so you should see English and Spanish interpretation available, something like that pop up. Click that, choose your preferred language. I chose English, then click it again and mute original audio. That is the next thing you need to do. So select your language, then mute original audio. Ava or Wildelise, could you give that instruction in Spanish for us?
Hola, buenos días a todos. Si escuchas nuestra voz, estás en la línea de inglés. Por favor, no se olvide para prender tu audio en español, tendrás que trasladarse a las herramientas.
Okay, thank you. And we will be using, let's see, I'm not going to use the raise hand today. It is too complicated, but we will use the Q&A. So if you have questions for our panelists, please put them in the Q&A. You can use the chat to speak with each other. If you have questions that are not related to our panelists, if you would wait on those, you could also private message, Meryl or someone just to get, if it's a simple question, but otherwise, I would appreciate that if folks kept the Q&A just related to our guests for now. So good morning again. Our guests for this morning are Jacqui Torecellini and Louise Lisboa from the Connecticut Women's Business Development Council. That will be the first part of today's meeting. They are going to do a presentation on the types of services they offer and how all of you can access them, some business help for you guys. And then the second part of the meeting will be Karen Rainville from CAEYC talking about some other from the CT Shares program. I want to also just quickly announce that let's see, I need to pull up my calendar here. We've got a lot scheduled for the next few weeks, and I just want to make mention of those things. So on Wednesday, we are going to have, our guest will be Karen Hurlbert, who is a provider who is going to talk about how to safely get the kids outside in winter. And for those of you who, maybe take the kids out for a short amount of time in the winter time, but it's really too cold to bother with the whole thing. This year is different, and we're going to have to be outside a lot more. And so she's going to help us understand kind of how to shift the mindset, how to plan, how to think about it, how to get parents, children, and teachers on board with more time outside and how to gear everybody up. So that will be on Wednesday. Next Monday, we will not have a meeting for the holiday. So you guys have hopefully the morning off, but you have the morning off from us. Then it looks, let's see, I'm not positive we've confirmed the 14th, but that one may be on the shared work program. After that, we're going to have Robin Lamott Sparks on Monday the 19th to talk about, from End Hunger Connecticut, to talk about getting more food into your programs. I know that was something that people had asked about. And then let's see. Oh, and just also the one small other thing is this Thursday, the Coalition for Children, my coalition, is running a candidate forum for Middlesex County. So it's sort of Middlesex County, but there's bleed over into other counties. So you can, I'll share the website for that. But if you're interested in hearing what any of the candidates have to say on children's issues, you are welcome to log in. It'll be about an hour and 15 minutes Thursday morning. So not instead of these meetings, but in addition, if you're interested, you're welcome to join us. Okay, so first I am going to turn this over to Louise and Jacqui, and they are going to present for you all. Who wants to get started?
Good morning. I will get started. Thank you, everybody, for being here this morning, and thank you to the Coalition for having us here today. And I'm just going to share my screen. I have a short presentation. What we wanted to do was just provide a refresher. I mean, I know we had the opportunity back to speak with you about PPP and EIDL. You know, we're past that now, so we wanted to start talking a little bit more about the services WBDC offers and how childcare providers can access those and what we're hoping to accomplish. So let me get started. Okay. So just as a reminder for everyone, the WBDC is working very closely with the Office of Early Childhood to ensure that childcare businesses, who we know are going through a very difficult time at this point, have the resources available to them to help them weather this pandemic, and also to stabilize the business to keep them so that they're actually going to be moving forward and remain stable. And that's what we're going to work on. So the Women's Business Development Council is funded partially through the Small Business Administration and other public and private grants. So that is how we are able to provide no-cost business advising services to childcare providers, as well as companies from other industries too. But our focus with this new program initiative with OEC is specifically for childcare providers. And part of that is to roll out a new program that is going to really provide all of you with an opportunity to meet with WBDC business advisors on a one-on-one basis. And these are the services that we currently provide, and that we're also really starting to tailor to childcare business. So we provide training that can be one-off trainings where we're just talking about a particular timely topic. And as we did with PPP and the EIDL and the other programs that the government had put out. And in addition to that, we provide regular one-on-one, as I said, business counseling. And we also have, if you go to our website, which is ctwbdc.org, you can see a listing of classes that we offer. So we have Marketing Mondays, where the topic is usually something to do with either social media or some other type of marketing program, so that you can learn really what are the best ways for you to get the word out about your business. And we help you through all of that. Then the other thing is we have some incentives. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. And connections, those are, you know, how to connect you to other resources within the state that may be appropriate to assist you in your business. And then the advocacy piece is how Women's Business Development Council, along with our executive director, Fran Pastori, will be working diligently on the state level to help advocate for childcare providers and your industry to make sure that the state is being responsive to your needs. One of the big things I think that have has come out of COVID-19 is the fact that childcare is really the backbone to the economy. How can the economy completely recover without childcare being fully functioning? So those are the things that we're going to be working on. This is what we're in the process of doing, is reaching out to childcare providers to just let you know that we have the ability to work with you, do a complete business assessment to really help you identify what are your pain points, what are the things in your business that we can help you really move your business forward. And in addition to the training programs that we have, as I said, this individualized assessment plan, what we'll do is we'll actually be putting together a one-year program for each one of the businesses that we work with to help them identify goals for the business and then identify benchmarks. So helping you to set goals, helping you to reach the benchmarks that we've identified are going to make you a healthier business. And in conjunction with that, coming in 2021, we do have some incentive programs that will be rolled out. Okay, so as we've been hearing from many of the providers thus far, one of the things that we found is a pain point on your end from connecting with us here at the WBDC is to maybe have a better understanding of our intake form. So historically, our intake form is the way that we capture the data about your business, about the demographics of your business that we maintain in a database. And that information is never shared. Your individual information is never shared with anybody outside of our agency. So if we report information back to the Small Business Administration or any of our other partners, it goes in aggregate, which means that we just take the raw data numbers, send them, how many childcare providers we're working with, or, how many providers in other industries we're working with, how many women we work with compared to how many men we're working with. And even when we get into the financial piece, we would say, report back how many companies had received PPP, and in aggregate, what the total dollar amount was of the companies that we work with, how much in PPP funding did they receive. So just want to assure you that we are very aware and take any of the information that you provide us in strict confidence, and we do not share that as individual information with anyone. So with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing this, and I thought what we could do this morning is walk through our new child care specific intake form. So hold on one second while I stop this and pull up the intake form. Okay. So what Louise and I have done is we went through this intake form, and what we did is eliminate really any of the information that we had been collecting from other industries that are not applicable to your industry, because we certainly don't want to make this process confusing for you. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to connect with us, because we want to make sure that we're able to support you during this time. So the way this intake form works is that through our programs, we are required to have a intake form with this information I'm about to go over. And we need to get this from you on a calendar basis. So, and this happens a lot of times at the end of the year, somebody fills one out in November, and then we speak to them in January or February, and we say, oh, can you please send out, can you please sign this new intake form? And of course, it's a little frustrating because there's, we just filled this out. But however, we need a new one every calendar year. So just to be, that's just a heads up when you're working with us. If it's toward the end of the year, you're going to be requested to complete a new one at the beginning of the next year as we continue on providing you services. So with that in mind, the first section of this form is really just to provide us with personal information about you. And again, this will not be sent individually to, your individual information will not be sent anywhere outside of our agency. And what we do is we capture this data and then send it back to, as I said, our funders. And the reason this is important is because the Small Business Administration and many of our other funders are receiving monies from the federal government. So, and it's really a trickle down. So the Small Business Administration or some of our other funders receive money from the federal government, and then they in turn will write out different grants that WBDCs and other agencies can apply for. And part of our application process is to provide the SBA and other funders with this information. So again, how many female compared to male businesses are we working with? Are we working with minority-owned businesses? Are these people affiliated with the military? And this also enables us to know in the future, if we're going to have a specific program that is geared to people who are in a minority class, we want to make sure you're aware of the program. If you are a former military or current military or spouse of somebody who's in the military, we actually currently just launched a new program this year called Blue Stream. So if we don't have that data, we wouldn't know that necessarily you would be interested in that, because the Blue Stream program is specifically written for spouses of military personnel. And so us capturing this data allows us to be able to notify you also of pertinent trainings that are coming up. So just so you know where and why we're asking this information. And then single parent, are you a head of household, which is the highest earner? And all this information is gathered and helps the US government ultimately understand what types of businesses are out there, and it helps them to then really tailor programs that they're offering to make sure they're touching the right people and providing the right resources. So these are just very generalized information: household size, your employment status. So any of you being family child care providers would fall under to the status of self-employed. You would indicate whether that's, your program that you're operating is a your full-time job or your part-time job. So that's where that comes from. Do you have a business plan? The reason they ask this question is it's been found through a lot of research over decades that companies, no matter their size, small, medium, large, who have a business plan tend to have a longer time that they're able to stay in business, and they tend to be more profitable. And the reason for that is because a business plan really provides an outline on all the different aspects of the business. And it really prompts you as the business owner to take a look at all the different aspects of your business. And we consider a business plan a living document. So it's not the way it was days past, where people would write a business plan when they first opened their business, and then it would just be thrown on a shelf somewhere and collect dust. A business plan nowadays is considered a document that should be reviewed at least once a year, if not more. For your industry, I'm sure on an annual basis, it would be well to do that. With everything going on with COVID and the way there's uncertainty at this point in time, it may be something that could be reviewed even more frequently. So one of the services that we provide is to help businesses now guide them through writing the business plan. We cannot write the business plan for you, but we certainly can provide you with a template and guidance on how to put the business plan together. We can also provide a sample business plan, and we will at some point in the near future, I'm sure, be working with many of you on developing a business plan specific to your business and help you determine, you know, if you want to stay at the size you're at, if you're going to look at maybe, you know, you have a goal in the future that you want to expand and move from a family home care provider and maybe open up a child care center somewhere. And we can help you develop the business plan that will be the ground work and provide you really with the path on how to move forward and accomplish that goal. So that's the purpose of a business plan. And this business status is really, again, it's for us to help identify, based on the stage of business that you're in, what are going to be the best programs and support services to help you attain your goal. And again, have you attained any of the following? This really tells us where you are in the stage and in the process, again, to help us know how we can assist you best.
Can I just quickly interrupt and ask, is a business mandatory for using your services? I'm guessing that some of our smaller businesses might not have a written plan like that, especially.
Sure. It's not a requirement. We just consider it a best practice. And moving forward, there may be some incentives attached to having a business plan.
Okay, but it's not required to access your program.
It is not required to access our programs. No.
Okay.
Nope, not at all. We just consider it a best practice. So thank you for asking that, Izzy. That's important distinguishing thing to know, that no, you're not required to have a business plan. You're not required to write a business plan. It is just considered a best practice to have one or to work toward one.
And to add on to that, you also don't have to be in business yet. For those looking to start a childcare business, whether it's a family home care, group home, childcare center, you are also welcome for free one-on-one business counseling and training.
Great. Thank you. All right, now the second page of the form is all related to your business. So we'll give you the business name, business start date. Again, as Louise was just pointing out, you may not have, for you on the call this morning, you know, maybe you have a friend or relative who has been tossing about the idea of opening a family home care or center, and they want to really determine if it's something that could be feasible for them to do. And so we can also help with that process as well. So when it has business start date, just, you know, you would just fill in not started or, you know, thinking about starting. So some of these fields, you know, they're not required, but we definitely want to have as much information as possible. And again, that just ensures that we provide you with the best possible support. So the rest is pretty straightforward. Business address, what is your email address? If you have a website, you would put your web address. Again, this is not something that's required. If you don't have a website, just indicate in here, no website. Business location, are you based out of your home, or are you based in a commercial space or somewhere else where you're paying rent or a mortgage if you happen to own the building? Same thing here with these next 4 social media sites, the Facebook page, LinkedIn, Twitter handle, and Instagram. Don't have them, it's no worries. It's not a make or break. It's just something that if you do have them, we like to know about it because we are, WBDC does have all of these different social media accounts, and we like to make connections with the people that we work with on those social media networks. So if we have your information, then we can make sure that we connect with you on those sites as well. Then here it gets into the specific type of provider. So again, pretty straightforward. If you're family, child care home, if you're child care center, if you're group child care home. We are also able to work with youth camps and with centers that are run out of schools through the Board of Education, just as a FYI. So there was a lot of other information in this business section of our form that we eliminated because it's not applicable to your industry. So this is the area really where we cut out a lot of unnecessary requests for information. So conduct business online, yes, no. What does that mean? It could mean, are you accepting payments through a website? Are you accepting payments or anything else through any type of online platform? Again, just to understand where you're at with the business. AA certified, this has to do with if you're receiving, you could be eligible to receive additional funding for AA certification. That typically has to do with government run programs and also with private industry. They will have programs where they're trying to diversify their supplier base, and believe it or not, even services are can be considered a supplier. So say there was a large Connecticut company who was looking to open a child care center in their or near their corporate headquarters located in Connecticut, and they were looking to hire somebody to run it as a sub-location of an existing child care center or even a family home care provider. If a business is AA certified, there's a list that the government and these private employers can go to find businesses that are AA certified. So that's something, if you were interested in, we could talk and explore further in our one-on-one counseling. Then this just comes down to employees, include yourself. So again, if your business is something that you're doing full-time, include yourself in that. Number of part-time employees. If you have seasonal employees, please include those. In the past and hopefully moving forward into the future, you know, many people would hire assistants during the summertime to help with the increase in the number of children you're caring for because you know nobody's in school during the summer. So please indicate those. Same thing, temporary. If you have any people who are temporary workers, please let us know. DUNS number. This may or may not apply to you. This is the equivalent of a credit score for the business. So as each of us have a credit score individually, businesses have a credit score as well. If you are registered with, this is Dun & Bradstreet, created this DUNS number. Most smaller companies may or may not have one. Again, this is not a requirement that you need in order to seek services and counseling through the WBDC. We would just be curious if you have a number. If you don't have a number, you don't even know what a DUNS number is, you could just put in not applicable. or no, we do not have one. Business structure. This goes into really how, when you decided to open up your business, how did you decide to structure your business as far as a legal entity? So sole proprietor, that is when you are using your social security number to file, and you file your taxes for the business through your social security number only, and you are typically considered a doing business as, or DBA. So many of you may be you know, your name, and then you're doing business as Sunshine Childcare or Sunshine Home Care. So that is what a sole proprietorship is. So there's no difference between the business and yourself when it comes to taxation and liability. Then when you get into an LLC, that is short for limited liability company. And that's something you would register through the state of Connecticut, as well as partnership, C corporation, S corporation. Those are things we do have trainings on to help providers, help any companies understand what are the differences, what are the pros and cons of opening and holding your business under these different types of business structures. So if any of you are curious about that, you know, a quick Google search will provide you with some information. Like I said, we may have something recorded, I'm not sure. Louise and I can check into that if there's something you're interested in. Then there's also a benefit corporation and nonprofit. So we just like to know which type of business structure you're using. Then when you get into family ownership, percentage of female ownership, you would just specify and check off which category you fall into. And then the next couple of lines really get into the financials of your business. And this is where WBDC is going to be, I think, most helpful for you in the business. And so if you can provide us with what your total sales were for the prior year, what the profit and loss was for the prior year, and what type of salary you're taking from the business. That would be really helpful in how we are going to work with you moving forward. And if these are things that you're not currently tracking, don't worry about that. We're going to help you figure out how you can track this information and why it's important to track this information. Then funding received for your business. This is, again, SBA is one of our main funders. So they are always wanting to know if the businesses that we're working with have ever utilized any of their programs. So this is what we're really, this data is what we're capturing here. And then this little piece here is just a little overview, little thing for you to sign that is just saying that you are requesting services from the WBDC. And then this is also where we talk about some of the programs that we have, and then the use of information, which is really like a confidentiality piece. So just really, again, reassuring you that your individual information is not going to be seen by anybody outside of WBDC. And we really know how sensitive that information is and would not share that outside of our agency with anybody. And then last but not least, we just would need your signature and date. Now, when this form is sent to you, it's usually a fillable PDF form, so you can fill in everything. And are we doing electronic signatures on this form as well, Louise?
We are, so people can fill out a Word version, a PDF. If you started typing in it, your data will stay there. You can hit save, you can print it out and email it back. You can handwrite it, mail it in, whatever works, and we will accept that.
Great, thank you. All right, so that, all right. So that was the form, and I think I just had, let's see.
So while Jackie's pulling up her next thing, I just want to make super, super clear to everyone, WBDC, we are not sharing your data outside of the organization. So if Mary Jane says, oh, I'm a single mom, I have a household income of 20,000, I have gross profits of 5,000, that information is not getting shared with anyone with Mary Jane's name. We will say things like 50% of our clients have household incomes less than 100,000, right? So nothing is tied to your name, not with the OEC, not with the US Small Business Administration. All of that is 100% private. You're not checking data against IRS, nothing like that.
Great, thank you. So one of the last topics is I just wanted to remind everybody, for those of you who have not yet taken advantage of the expense kickstart and supply subsidy, those programs still have some funding left available in them. So just as a reminder, you can go onto OEC's website to access the applications for those programs. And so then I wanted to also mention that part of the overall project that WBDC and OEC are working together on to help the childcare industry, we are working on different types of incentives that will be rolling out in 2021. So in order to qualify for these incentives, you need to be working with WBDC in our business curriculum. That will be, we're actually finalizing what that is going to look like, what types of programs are going to be offered, and there'll be benchmarks that will be outlined. So as you reach certain milestones within the goals that we have worked with you to determine are best for your business, we will be offering different types of potential hardware for you to use in your business, which we're working on that. That's maybe, you know, iPads, you know, things of that nature to help make sure that you have the technology that you need to properly run your business. And in conjunction with that, software that is going to help you run your business, whether that be child care management software or other types of software programs that are going to help you run your business. And then in addition to that, there will be grants attached to reaching those milestones that we set up with you. And right now we're just in the process of really finalizing what those are. As soon as we have that information, we'll be, I'm sure, reaching out again to provide you with the specifics on that. But what we really wanted to do is encourage everybody who is participating today to think about reaching out to us at WBDC sooner rather than later to get this, you know, to get this started, so that we can start helping you in your business to make sure that you're at the enrollment. Hold on, I see some questions and answers in here. To make sure that your enrollment numbers are getting you to where you need them to be so that you can be successful. Our classes ever in the evenings? Yes, we will be holding classes in the evenings. Yes, Connecticut Small Business Development Center is a partner agency of the Small Business Administration. Is also one of our partner agencies. But the Small Business Development Center is not in the contract with Office of Early Childhood, so they will not have the incentive programs that we will be offering. Yes, we do assist with the SBA loan forgiveness application, and we're actually at this point waiting to find out from Congress what is going to happen with these programs. There's still nothing set in stone. And actually, my understanding right now is most of the banks are not accepting forgiveness applications because they're still waiting for Congress to trickle down to them all the specifics. Somebody asked, how would you go about getting that Dun and Bradstreet number? Is it complicated? No, it's not. You could just look up how to obtain your Dun's number online and it'll get you to where you need to go.
Okay.
We're working on identifying how certificate hours toward professional development will be handled. But yes, that is going to be one of the initiatives of the program, is to attach professional development hours to the work and the training you're receiving with the WBDC. And we will also be looking to provide our training and everything that we offer in Spanish. If anybody's aware, you can go to our website. We currently have 2 job postings looking for bilingual people. One is a part-time business advisor position, so please spread the word out to your friends and network, and also a full-time program specialist that will be working on this project with us.
There's another question also wondering if things will be on Zoom. Did you answer that?
Yes, they will be on Zoom. The most of the trainings and everything will be on Zoom. Potentially Microsoft Teams. We're still kind of weeding through which is the best format. So if any of you have any input on that, please share. And then this is my contact information here. We set up a separate email address specific for childcare businesses, tried to make it simple. So it's just childcarebusiness@ctwbdc.org. So thank you everybody for your time.
Thank you so much, Jacqui. And I know Louise had to jump off, but we definitely appreciate your time. I know that folks have really needed help over the last few months with this kind of stuff, and you have been a great resource. So we're appreciative of all of that. And thank you again. If you have questions, I put the email childcarebusiness@ctwbdc.org. I put that into the chat, and also it was originally put into the Q&A as well. So you can go through the Q&A answers and you'll see the contact information there too. Okay, thanks so much, Jacqui. All right, so second part of our meeting, we are going to turn to Karen Rainville. Karen, I'm gonna unmute and spotlight you next. All right, there you are. And Carly is here, and also Catherine. Okay,
yeah.
You guys
so,
can yourself.
Thanks everybody. I'm really happy to be here to share the CT Share site. We're really excited about it, excited for the potential for programs. Katie Hagan, our association administrator, is here, and Carly's here, who is a very active with the CT Share site. So she's going to share from a director's perspective after we go through some of the sites. So let me pull it up. Okay, so this is the main CT Share site. It's ctshares.org. It is a logged in platform, meaning you need to register to have an account for the site. Really simple. When you click in on this page in the upper right hand corner, it'll say register. You complete a really short application, and then it gets sent over to us. You're usually approved within the same day. So that gives you full access to everything within the site. Site itself is broken up into 4 navigations categories. The 2 on the left, engaging families and in the classroom, are primarily for classroom related things for teachers. And then the 2 functions on the right focus more on the business aspect of a childcare program or family childcare home. I'm going to apologize for going through this really quickly. I know that I want to leave time for some questions. So excuse my rapid tone as I'm laying this out for you. So we have a main navigation feature story. This changes monthly. This month is keeping it clean. It talks about sanitation. Obviously with COVID, this is a pretty important topic right now. This is a direct link when you click on see resources to resources that are embedded within the site within these categories, but offer an easy way for you to locate them based on that topic. As you scroll down on the home pages, you have featured tools and resources. Again, these are trending topics, if you will, and they are designed to take you specifically to sections and content within the site without having to navigate through the buttons. So if you think, oh, I know I saw Family Childcare Toolkit somewhere within here, but I can't remember where, it's an easy way for you to locate that from the homepage. And again, this featured resources changes every few weeks. So you'll see different aspects highlighted within there. And as we go through, I'm going to click on some of these so you can see what's in the actual toolkit as we go. The bottom of the navigation page, you're going to find trending topics. This is just as it sounds. They're hot button things that are really important for you to know. This is there's a whole section on the hand sanitizer warnings. And then there's the new and noteworthy, which is just anything that's been added to the site within the last few weeks. We give you a quick and easy way to see that by clicking on the new and noteworthy section. To the right of that, you have a Reading Rockets feed. Reading Rockets is a national reading organization. And so they have amazing resources for programs, all based, backed by research that you can click and it'll take you directly to that particular site. Limited time savings on the bottom left are limited time offers from the vendors that are built into the saving money section of this site. And again, I'm going to show you that, but when you see this on the front page, you should take a look at that because there's some really great opportunities to save money from some of the vendors and get additional perks. So for example, Discount has a promotion right now where anyone who orders, in addition to getting the discount they offer, they have a $150 gift card drawing that enters you to win a $150 gift card. Video corner to the right of that. They're simple 2 to 3 minute videos that help you learn how to navigate everything that's in the site. So Show Me the Money is going to take you to a quick video to learn how to get the most savings out of the shared resource platform. You have a food and supply source, which is one of the vendors. Clicking here takes you directly to a site where you can learn how and how much money you could save using that particular vendor. So that's a home page, and I'm going to start clicking through, and I'm going to take you to some of the resources that are built in here, and I want to stress some. So there's so much in here. Katie and I have spent hours on this site, literally, and probably haven't even touched the number of resources that are in here. So we're gonna show you some of them, but I encourage you when we get off the call to create your own account so you can go in here and play around and familiarize yourself with what's in the site. I didn't say this earlier, but the site is completely free for all childcare programs. So programs can have an account. Each staff within your program can have an individual account. So if teachers are looking for information around engaging families and they're at home and they pop on their iPad at night, they can play around with it at home. So we encourage everybody within a program to create their own account, not just one for the center or home childcare themselves. Within engaging families, it gives each landing page is set up the same way. So it gives you an overview of what you're going to find within this section, and then links that take you deeper into the resources. So within here, to give you an idea of what you will find, I'm going to click on the admin tools, and you can see it's going to pop up a page that will give you all of the administrative supports related to engaging families. And so one of those could be the family handbook. You can see that within the family handbook, you have the ability to pull up a complete handbook template for both center-based and home programs, home-based programs, or go through individual policies. You may say, oh, I want to compare my cell phone usage policy to what's in here, or I want to look at my developmental screening policy. It allows you very quickly to go in and look at a sample template that pulls up in a Word document that's completely editable for you. So I'm going to pull up the center-based family handbook. I think I have to stop sharing for a second to get that for you. Okay, can you guys see that? Yes, good. Okay, so you can see within this link, it's going to pull up for you a complete family handbook. It's you'll see both yellow and red prompts within the documents. Those prompts just give you an indication that that's something that you may want to look at to edit. So inserting your center's logo, here's where you would put a warm welcome to families. It's just a quick and easy way for you to know that you have to change something within that section. As you scroll down, it's going to give you all of the tables of contents within this document. You can see that the document itself covers a whole lot of items, but it's not particularly long, right? You don't want a family handbook that's 138 pages that you're going to send to families. So it's 21 pages, and you can pull up any section within here to edit it. You can use the language that they have here for you, and you can save it as your own. So it's a way for you to do this when you may not have time to start from scratch, which is a great thing. Let's stop here and go back to the site. Okay, so the same thing applies to all of the individual policies. I'm not going to pull them all up to save us some time, but you can see you have both the English and the Spanish version of these individual policies and complete handbooks. The other thing within this section that I wanted to point out to you is enrollments. So you can see within here, you can pull up a template enrollment agreement. Same thing, it comes up in a Word document that you can edit. There's a great getting to know you questionnaire for families. If you go into the individual IEP section, there's a host of resources for teachers who may have a child in their program with an IEP or IFSP that need some support. They need to know how they would implement the IFSP in a classroom. So let me show you that particular tool. Okay, so this is what would come up for the IEP implementation plan. This is something that a teacher director could sit down with someone from the Birth to 3 system, and they could go through this form and really carve out how the teacher is going to support the child's developmental needs within the classroom. It's documented, you put it in a child's file. If any of you from Head Start programs, you know that if it's not documented, it did not happen. And so it's a great way for you to document and to support your staff as they're working with families and children who may have an IEP. Sorry if I'm getting you guys dizzy with this. There's no other way to share these pop-up documents. Okay, so that's very quickly through the Engaging Families section. I'm going to move over to in the classroom. Again, this section's set up the exact same way. It tells you a little bit about what you're going to find within this section, and then you click further in for more in-depth resources. So I'm going to go into just a couple of these for you. Okay, so here within curriculum, I want to stress, and I can't stress enough, this resource is not intended to promote any curriculum. So it's really to support staff in their implementation of whatever curriculum you happen to be using, to give them more tools for their toolkit in a really easy to use, easy to access way. So in the curriculum, I'm going to go to let's go to theme-based lesson plans. Okay, so within here, you see a whole bunch of themes that are typical themes you may see in a classroom or a family child care home. You can click on any one of them, and it's going to take you to a site that has full lesson plans based on particular themes that you may be using in the classroom. So for this one, I obviously clicked on animals. So I'm going to just view the lesson for you. And it tells you everything that you would need to know for materials, everything you could do to implement that lesson. You can print the lesson, different vocabulary that's built within. There are parent handbooks that parent handouts that you could use within here as send home and follow-up activities. Just a great, great set of resources for programs. I'm going to go back. One other thing I want to show you in the classroom is the entire section on resources for coronavirus. As you can imagine, this section is added to pretty frequently as new information, new science information comes out. This page, you will see things change within the resources that are built in. One of the things I wanted to show you, because there's been a lot of conversation around it, is helping children with masks. And so this is a children's book that you could pull up, print out, and laminate, put in different centers within the classroom for those of you that are open. This is something that you could send home to families. And it's just a really cute way to help children understand what is going on with all of these masks he's seeing everywhere, and now he or she has to wear within a classroom. So just a really easy to use resource that's completely free. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to switch over to the business aspects of the site. I want to make sure I cover those and leave a couple of minutes for questions. The saving money section is just that. It's a cost savings program designed to help a program free up some revenue that you can use for other things, basically. So there are vendors that have negotiated discounts with the shared services platform that we pass on to programs who may not have access to discounts any other way. So if you're a school readiness program or a CDC program, you likely have discounts built into some of the big vendors based on your state funding, but there are many, many small programs who do not have access to that. So this is a way for them to access some great discounts that they can enjoy within their program. Two things within here I'm going to point out in just a second, but here is where the limited time savings that you saw on the homepage. This is again where you could find it if you were looking for those vendors that had certain promotions going on. If you go into calculate your savings, you have a calculator that could project out for you what your savings could be if you use the vendors built into this site. So a program would go in and enter all of their monthly expenses for supplies, general supplies, food, cell phone, etc., submit it, and then it would pop back out for you what your projected savings could be if you use the vendors within this program. So it's a really neat way to physically see how much money you could save. If you go into all savings program and my savings portal, this is where you're going to find all of the vendors that have negotiated discounts with CT Shares. You're going to see you can filter them by topic. So if you're looking for something specific, you can do it that way. You can scroll down and you can look on the home page and see everything. Again, this is getting updated frequently, and we are building out a local savings program where we're going to have local vendors that are offering savings as well. We really want to understand and appreciate the value of small businesses, especially now. And so we want to find a way to support them in this work as well. So you will see that Katie and I are in the process of building out many of these pages still. CT Shares has only been open and running for about 2 months. So again, over the next few months, you'll see quite a bit of change. But within here, you can see we have the major school discount supplies. So we have Kaplan school supplies. You have Staples, office supply. You can see Ace Hardware. I mean, quite a bit. So Smart Care, which is a childcare software program. So quite a few vendors that you have the opportunity to enjoy discounts from. And I will say, like I said before, this is not just for a director. So your teachers can sign up for their own account. They can use any of these discounts that are available in any way they want. So I've purchased things in here for my grandkids with the same discount. So it doesn't have to be a purchase that's related just to operating the childcare business. They can use that in any way that is going to benefit them. And then I'm going to pop over to the successful program management section. Again, these are all about the business end of the childcare center or childcare home. Landing page is the same. It tells you some of the things you can find in here. I'm going to click into a couple of them so you can see some of the tools. So there's a whole section on human resources. Now, I don't know about you, but I am not a human resource specialist. So in my days as a director, this would have been invaluable to me, especially as a new director starting out or someone starting a new program. You can see the entire list of opportunities that are available for resources for you on the left. I'm going to click on, let's see. I'm going to go into the employee handbook. Set up the same way the family or staff handbooks are. So you can see that you have a full employee handbook that you can pull up, or you can go into your individual policies to compare what you have with what's in here. All of the resources built into the site are vetted through national experts. So in the family childcare section, you're going to see resources from the Family Childcare Association, from Tom Copeland, who is a specialist when it comes to family childcare business operations, NAEYC resources, etc.
Hey, Karen.
Yeah.
Have a quick jump in here to ask about a lot of the policies people have been thinking about lately are ones they've never had to write before, like mask policy and travel policy. Are those things that you expect to be, I don't see them, but are they things that you will put up, or are you kind of avoiding COVID related stuff at this moment with this?
No, they definitely will go up. So not avoiding it. We have been waiting for the guidance from OEC before we popped anything in here to make sure that it was consistent. And we also have resources coming in from other states who are operating shared resources sites. So there's a network of those groups. So you will definitely see those things updated within the very near future.
Can I just take 1 second to also remind people I'm going to share my website where a few of our members have posted some sample policies. So I'm just going to give it now because that I think, you know, as I'm mentioning it. Karen, the other thing I want to ask is, do you have to be a member of CAEYC? Excuse me, do you have to be a member?
No, completely separate than the membership arm of Connecticut AEYC. Well, we would love you to be a member. Absolutely not necessary. Anybody can go in and become a member of CT Shares.
Okay, and also, is this stuff available in Spanish?
Many of, so yes, so up on the right-hand corner, you can see select language, so it operates under Google Translate. So when you pull that up, you can pretty much click, so I'll click on Spanish. And the site itself will change. And then within there, the documents that are embedded that are available in Spanish are called out, and the majority are in translation now. So if it's something that's not, it will be. But the site itself can be viewed in any language that the user prefers.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep, I'm going to go back to English if I can find it so I know what I'm reading, because I do not read Spanish. Okay, so you can see, I'm going to quickly pull up, how much time do I have? 20 minutes. Let me quickly pull up the employee handbook so you can get an idea what that looks like. Sorry, guys. I'm a little screen share trouble here.
We can see the policy page if that's what you're trying to look for.
Can you see? I'm trying to find the employee handbook page. Hang on a sec.
And let me remind people that if you have questions for Karen, you can put them in the Q&A. Please don't put them in the chat. If you have questions for Jacqui Torecellini still from the Women's Business Development Council, that is, I think the chat is probably the best place, but Q&A is also fine. You can private chat her as well if that's possible. But questions for Karen now could go into the Q&A. If you put them in the chat, I might miss them. Okay, thanks.
And we can, Katie will put our email in the chat as well. You can always follow up with us afterwards as well. I'm sorry, I can't get my screen share. I'm having some difficulty. So I'm going to go back to the site. So that'll be my little teaser. In order to see the complete handbook, you're going to need to do a CT Shares membership when we get off the call. So I apologize for that.
Edie's asking if the forms are available in language other than English or Spanish. I can see them on, I saw them on that last page that they were in English and Spanish, but I guess the forms are those the only two languages you're offering the forms in at this point?
At this point, yes.
Yeah. Thanks. And I guess if folks had a need for other languages, should they contact you, or what is the best thing to do?
Yes, it would be, the best thing would be to shoot us an email so we can pass that information on to CCA Global. So CCA Global for Social Good is the organization that manages the shared services nationwide, and the translation is done at that level. So all of the states who offer this within their state pay to have translation done. So we submit that feedback to them, and they're the ones that do that.
All right, excellent. And I see that Katie just shared those emails in the chat. So if you do have a need for other languages, those emails are right in the chat waiting for you.
Perfect. So I want to show you a couple of other things within here. Let me go into the Family Childcare Toolkit. I know we have quite a few family childcare providers on the call. You can see, again, this resource, you can see the content experts that have helped to build out this section of the site. I'm going to go to a couple of things in here. I'm going to go to the business basics section. There are resources that talk about accreditation, compliance with business requirements, general best practices, different technology supports the basics of Excel, which again, as a new director, that's something that would be invaluable to them. And then I'm going to go into a couple of the budget sections so you can see the resources that. Okay, so this is it's a tool in here for programs to create their 3-year budget. So it's a way for a program to use Excel without having to be an Excel expert. The formulas are all built in to the site. So the program would go in and put their income in, their expenses in, and then there would be self-calculation within this section to help that program build out their 3-year budget. There's also a cash flow formula in here as well that you would pull up. There's an instruction sheet that would tell a family child care program how to use this. You would put in your rates for infant, toddlers, preschoolers, school age, build those out, and how many groups of children you anticipate serving. And then that follows out to a cash flow worksheet. So it's an easy to use tool for someone who may not be familiar with Excel to do that on their own. And then the final piece in here I want to click on is marketing. And you can see that there are a host of tools that would support a family child care business in helping to market their business. There are flyers, there are free logo makers, some information about social media, free templates for brochures, invitations, postcards, etc. So it's a great way to get a new business up and running, or for an existing business to take a look and say, you know, have I looked at this in a couple of years, or I need to go back and look at how I'm marketing my business. The last thing I'm going to point out before I'm going to kind of turn it to Katie or Carly to add anything is the search function. So you can see that in the last, I don't know, half an hour or so, I've whipped through just kind of a basic overview of how the site works, but there's literally so much in here that every time I'm in, I find something new. So the search function is a great way to quick and easy find something you're looking for. So I'm going to type in here posters. You can see there are 35 different posters in here that programs can download and use within their program. Many of them are posters that you would have to pay for. So some of the compliance posters, things that you may be ordering and spending money for now, you can simply pull them up and print them out for yourself. So go here, emergency preparedness, environmental posters, you know, gloving, soup to nuts. So Katie and I use that tool a lot when we get calls saying, hey, do you have this in the site? We'll use that to navigate it a little bit quicker than if you had to go through and do it. So that in a nutshell, in a very quick nutshell, is CT Shares. So Katie, and let's go to Carly. So Carly uses CT Shares frequently. She's our unofficial marketing expert, because we get these amazing emails from her that we just so appreciate. That'll say, oh my God, I was on there today and I found this. This is amazing. Carly, you want to add anything?
So let me, hold on, I'm going to spot.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
There you go. No, it's all right. So Carly Adames is a provider, and I'm going to talk from the provider side. I'm also going to share with you guys, she was on the news this week, so I'm going to share the link to that if anybody wants to listen to it. So go ahead, Carly.
Thank you. Yes, as Karen said, I'm the unofficial marketer promoter because, as we all know, as providers, one major thing that we struggle with is time. We're always busy. There's never really downtime. We're always busy. And this website has saved me so much time. It's something that, I mean, if I had this 10 years ago, how much time it would have saved me. I'm just so grateful that it's coming out now. And I just wanted to kind of talk it up because it's, I'm so glad we're having this meeting to be able to go through it and share it. And from the chat, it seems like a lot of providers are realizing the value and how comprehensive and amazing it is. Such a good tool. But a lot of times I think that a lot of providers still haven't taken the time to go through it. And I get it because it's a lot of information. I've probably gone through 10% and I'm already raving about it. And I haven't had the time to go through everything. But a lot of times I'll see, like in these meetings through the chat or through the childcare Facebook page or through the listserv, providers will say, we need a policy from the OEC for this, or why isn't the OEC providing this? And they've answered, they've partnered with CAEYC and provided it through this website. So we're asking for things and advocating for things that are already there. There's no need to recreate the wheel. And also Karen and Katie have been extremely receptive. If there's something that I can't find, which I think maybe has happened once so far, they're very receptive to, to hearing feedback from providers, from directors, from family childcare owners on what they can add to the site to continue to make it comprehensive. Honestly, everything I've looked for so far has been on here. As Karen said, with HR, I'm not an expert and we don't have a specific HR person or department at our center. So that's been really helpful, especially with the CARES Act and coronavirus and different policies related to employees and things like that. I've been unsure of, but it's been very clear and easy for me to understand. And the resources I need to find are right there, what I'm looking for, that are specific to an early childhood provider. We're also in the midst of rewriting our employee handbook. And I was just like blown away. I think that's why when I sent one of my raving emails, because I've been avoiding it because it's a daunting task. It's a lot to write. And when I went on there and saw all the policies and then an entire sample handbook that it's customizable, you just put your logo in, you put your school's name, and whatever you need to change that's specific to your school, it's already highlighted. It's so easy. You just plug it in and then you have it already. And then of course you can edit it how you see fit. And then in addition to the Word documents, as you saw, they have tons of links to other places. It's basically like a comprehensive Google search for early childhood providers, specifically in Connecticut. It's not even nationwide, because nationwide, we know there's a lot of variation between states. It's really everything we need for Connecticut. So I would just encourage everyone listening to really talk it up with other providers or directors that are looking for things. When you see or hear, oh, we really could use this, we really could use that, to check CT shares. It's probably there. 99% of the time it's going to be there. And if it's not, to send Karen or Katie an email so it can be up there, because it's really an invaluable resource. It's saved us so much time, and it takes time to go through it all, as Katie said, but it's well worth it. I feel like it's an undiscovered treasure. So a lot of what we're looking for, it's already there. Just go to CT shares. So that's it.
Thanks, Carly.
And Katie, did you want to add anything?
Just one thing. Thank you so much, Carly. And Karen, as Karen pointed out, the search toolbar at the top, I'm going to share my screen for a second. That search toolbar comes in handy if you know you need to pop on to look for something. But every month, as Karen said, this feature will change, and all of the resources right here, this will change. And really it just serves as a way to call out different parts of the website. And every month you'll get an email with the new feature and all of the different things that feature is highlighting. So even if you hadn't had a need to look for emergency preparedness, you'll get an email when that is the feature, and you'll be able to pop on and just kind of poke around and not necessarily have to spend hours at a time figuring out all of the different things that are in the website, because every month you'll get something right to your email, just calling out things for you to say like, oh, I didn't know that was on there. I hadn't had a need to look for it. But in the future, if you need it, then you kind of know it's there. So I really like that the emails come out and that the different things appear, the reference sheets, and it talks about where you need to go. It always separates out the centers and family child care homes. And I think it's just a great way to kind of see what else the website has to offer that you hadn't seen yet.
All right.
Thank you guys very much. We appreciate the opportunity to share this. We're here for any questions.
Yes.
We have just over 500 users on our site in the 2 months that it's been running. Our goal is to get to 1,000 in the first 6 months. So if you don't have an account, when you get off at 11 o'clock, please go on to CT Shares and set one up.
Yes, I've actually approved 4 of them in the last couple of minutes.
Let's see. I am also seeing that there's no nothing in the Q&A. So, all right, you guys, this is your chance. If there's any questions for Karen, you can put or the team. You are welcome to put them in the Q&A now. Otherwise, we will wrap up in a couple of minutes. We're close to the end anyway. I'll give it one more minute. And I was just told that the link to the candidate forum isn't going anywhere, so I'll grab that and share it again.
I will say, so Maggie is on. I just see something pop up for Maggie. This service is available because of the OEC. You know, the OEC is, their investments in quality and supports right now is amazing. And so the only way this is free is through their very generous supports. Many states that offer this do it as a fee for service. So we're really lucky to have it available.
Okay, so I am going to reshare the link to the candidate forum is here. And just a reminder again that Wednesday we will have, oh, let me change the spotlight here. Okay, so let me say there's no Q&As coming in. And so I mean, you guys were all very thorough, both presentations, so much information to take on. Oh, wait, one quick one. Could you include a section about medical record keeping? So that's a request on here.
Okay.
Less of a question, more of a request. So, okay, great. Thank you for that, Dorothelia. So thank you. Yes.
I was going to say, I just wanted to add one thing. When people are getting to it, what a fantastic site. I'm glad I was able to stay on and see this. This is wonderful. Great job. And just wanted to say that for providers who are getting into the budgeting aspect and things like that, if you know, WBDC is here to team up with you to help support you understand what all of those numbers mean. So it's fantastic that you have all of those things there. And when you have questions about, you know, once you plug all the numbers in, what does it all mean? Please, you know, reach out to us and we're happy to work with you on that.
That's great. Thank you so much. And yeah, these two things were very complimentary today. So I'm sure we've had about 150 people on this morning, which is fantastic. Many of them are directors or decision makers. And we will also post the video of this on my website. Depending on how it works, it'll either be later today or tomorrow. It's not always as easy to upload as I had originally thought that it was. So I'll share one more time the link to where this is. So if you do have friends or others who didn't get to make it in today, you can share that link with them and we will post it there. You can scroll down to past meetings and webinars and that's where you'll be able to see it. I guess actually Karen and Jackie, if you want to send me the you know, any documentation you'd like me to post kind of in conjunction, I can also post that on the website too. So just
before we wrap up.
Yes.
Okay. There is, on Friday, we got news that the federal judge has extended the census until October 31st. So I am about to post a link to a little Google form where you could tell us that you would like to help us getting folks registered for the census. We, you know, while the Lieutenant Governor is saying that we're at 98% or something like that households, we're still finding families who have not filled out the census. And so we have a little link here in the chat that you can click that if you would commit to asking all of your families if they have done the census yet, and help them do it by having them call the census to do the census right then and there. We have a little bit of grant money to be able to provide gift cards to child care providers for that help. you know, we've had providers who told us, you know, I asked 15 families and 9 of them did the census there. So there are still families out there who have not done the census, particularly in Hartford and Bridgeport. Those are the 2 places that have the lowest response rates.
Okay, thank you. Real quick for our guests, or for actually, there's one question here that's in the chat that says, when will providers get info on the new OEC programs and JobWorks of Connecticut with matching new children and providers for parents job searching? Does anyone have any information on that before I close up?
I do not.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I do not either.
Okay, Meryl, did you have something?
I was a little distracted while you said that. I know that there is a OEC is providing some funds for childcare for families who are in job training. And I'm not exactly sure how they're selecting people. I think it depends a lot on where they have the demand for people in job training, that they're then trying to match them with accredited programs, ideally accredited programs, either NAEYC or the Family Child Care Accreditation.
Okay.
I would say though that if federal money comes down, which we're still waiting to see, it's still all tied up in political stuff. If that comes down, there would be much more opportunity for that. That includes quite a bit of funding. So there'll be another Action Wednesday this Wednesday. I don't know what the content will be yet, but we'll tell you on Wednesday morning and send it out on the listserv.
Great, thank you. Okay, so final reminder, first of all, final thank you to all of our amazing guests for today's presentations. Thank you so much to everyone. Final reminder that Wednesday we will be talking about how to prepare and get kids outside more this winter, how to safely have everyone outside. And then Thursday is a candidate forum if you can join us. So all of those links are, you can go to my website and you'll find all of that stuff. So.
And the following Wednesday, we have the Department of Labor on to explain the shared work program, which is sometimes called partial unemployment, particularly for centers who are trying to figure out how do I keep my staff with the right credentials when I don't have full enrollment. That could be a very interesting session as well.
Yep, and so I've just posted the link to where you can go for the schedule of events.
But I will say that next Wednesday, the 14th, probably has less relevance for family child care.
Good to know. Everything else should be good for everyone. Okay. All right. Thanks again, everyone. It is 11:01, so we're definitely going to leave now.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.
And have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.